Hi, so thank you so much for clicking on this episode. My name is SL Funk. I am a writer and indie author, hoping soon to get my work published, self-published. It's been kind of a weird up and down journey. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be published, but hopefully soon. If you want to follow my journey, I do have a newsletter on my website. That is slfunkwrites.com, where I publish a newsletter every once in a while when there's news about what's going on. And if you subscribe, there's some fun little goodies that are involved. You can join my Discord community that's slowly but surely growing. You can get first dibs on content as it comes out if I am able to create it, and just fun things like that. This particular episode you're about to listen to was a part of a series that I was starting back in 2023 that I thought I was going to be putting out on a monthly basis. Turned out that was not possible. So this was kind of a failed series idea, but it's still definitely something I'd want to try in the future. I called it Monthly 3x3. The premise is kind of like the Tumblr 3x3 grids of where you would put images of your nine favorite things in a category. And what I wanted to do was every month have a new guest come onto the podcast where we would discuss their own personal 3x3s, whether that would be music, film, movies, books, comics, anime, anything in the kind of entertainment genre. And I managed to record 2 episodes that year, but I only really posted 1. So the one you're about to listen to here was the only one I ever actually published. The other one will also be available sometime soon on this podcast, but I just thought I would give a new introduction, just thanking you for your support and listening. If more of these 3x3 types of episodes come out, I'll definitely be sure to let you know. And we get to know a little bit about our guests and what they value and what they are inspired by. And just generally, this is a time of just enjoying things, not ripping things apart like I might do in other episodes. So please enjoy the content. Please enjoy the episode. And hopefully more will come out soon. This was formerly a Brain Velcro episode, so which is no longer a thing as of recording this new introduction. So thank you so much for clicking the title. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you come back for more later. Hello, welcome to the podcast. I have a guest with me today. His name is Yozora, and he's really fun and cool. Why don't you say hi?
Hi, guys.
So I'll tell you just a little bit about Yozora, if he's all right with that. So
Yep.
Yozora, I was going to let them know about your Wattpad.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yozora is a writer, kind of like myself. We met as friends and kind of read each other's stories on Storyfire. And since then, we've kind of branched off and gone on to do other things. I, of course, have Brain Velcro and my website. And Yozora has a Wattpad where he's been posting more of his stuff, which is really good stuff. And he's been doing, oh my goodness, I can't believe a notification just went off. That's so embarrassing. I don't know if you heard that. It went like, ding. And I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously? We just started. Anyway, you shared with me not too long ago, Yozora, that one of your stories was trending on Wattpad in, was it the sci-fi category? I can't remember what
Um,
category it was.
well, there was a couple of stories that were trending on, I would say the hashtags, like
Yeah,
how it ranked in the hashtags, and it ranked pretty high.
it did. It did. It was, you were at least double digits. Like, I remember, like, it wouldn't be hard to find your things if you were searching hashtags on Wattpad. And I thought that was really incredible for someone who just started on Wattpad.
Yeah,
because there are some pretty big names on Wattpad. There's some pretty big titles that are going right now because I don't know if people know this, but certain teen romance movies and books that have been published in recent years started on Wattpad. And like literally people like TV, Netflix people will find stories they like on Wattpad and get people movie deals and
But
publishing
for
deals.
oh,
Yeah, go
um,
ahead.
there's a perfect example. I know that the uh, Happily Ever After or Ever After series on
Hmm.
Netflix, that was originally on Wattpad. I've seen it on Wattpad.
Yeah, yeah, it's still there actually.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty incredible that you were trending, or at least in the top 100 hashtags
Yeah.
on
And like
Wattpad. Yeah, go ahead.
that was on the first week.
Yeah,
So
literally your
that
first
blew my
week.
mind.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a little bit about Yozora. And I'm calling this series, I mean, kind of going back to the topic at hand, I'm calling this series Monthly 3 by 3, which is kind of a boring title because I couldn't come up with anything better. But pretty much the idea is every month I'll interview a different guest or perhaps a returning guest, and we'll talk about what I like to call a 3 by 3 or what is known as a 3 by 3, which looks a little bit like this. So if you're watching the video, I just pulled up Yozora's 3 by 3 and you should see a grid with it's a 3 by 3 grid. So in each space, there's a title or a cover of, let's say, a movie, a book, a TV series, a comic, um, even just characters sometimes. Today we're doing films and or movies, and this is a 3 by 3 grid that Yuzora put together for this podcast, where we're just going to talk about the movies included in this 3 by 3. And I don't know, I'll ask a couple questions, but we're just going to talk. We're just going to talk about these titles and the reasons Yuzora enjoys them, and see if we can have some fun conversations. Because at the end of the day, Brain Velcro is about what you enjoy and what sticks with you, not the things that you forget about or the things that you try to do just for the sake of doing. But like I love this movie because I always remember the same part, or I love, you know, saying the same parts over and over or quoting it because it's so funny, and I remember having great times with my family watching it. Like, this is all about positive experiences with media and pop culture and literature. That's the word I'm looking for. Literature. Um, so that's kind of the idea of why I'm making this series. And Yuzora was kind enough to be one of my first guests, and I'm really excited. So forgive us if it's a little slow or a little clunky today, just because it's the first time either of us are trying this. And yeah, well, I'm just glad you're listening in the first place. And by the way, if it's okay with you, Zora, I'll link his Wattpad. And you're also, well, do you stream on Twitch?
No.
No, he doesn't.
Sadly, no.
Oh, it's okay. Any other social media that you like to share with people? I know primarily Wattpad is probably what you care about most.
Yeah.
If it,
What?
it Go
What?
ahead. Go ahead.
Wattpad. Uh, actually, now that I think about it, I may do a Twitch
Okay.
in the future and do something like you're doing with the Avatar
That's
thing.
cool. That's cool. That would be
So
really cool.
you may need to help me out with that in the future.
Oh, sure. I'll tell you anything I know. Any way I can
All
help.
right.
I don't know
Uh,
everything, but I know enough.
yeah.
But yeah, if it's all right with you, I'm gonna link your Wattpad at least, so that people who listen to the podcast can find you, and
Okay.
read your things on Wattpad.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Well, if I gotta actually pull up my questions. I forgot. What are the questions? I'll just start with the one at the top. And you mentioned you wanted to start in the upper corner. So,
Yes.
Sam Raimi's Spider Man, which also is a favorite of mine. I love the Sam Raimi Spider Man. But why did you choose Sam Raimi Spider Man, say, over other Spider Man versions that have come out?
Because it's the first comic book movie, like in my mind, that got me into comic book movies and started my love for Spider-Man.
Mm, yeah, that makes sense. I feel similarly that there's just something about that first, you know, there's something about the first version, even if other versions kind of came along and did a really good job with it. There's something about the first version that I don't know.
Always sticks.
It always sticks with you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, Now, if it's all right with you, if I could ask, um, if you could choose a scene from Sam Raimi's Spider Man that you wish you could experience, or say you could be like in the scene, which one do you think it would be?
I thought about that and I don't know,
You don't know?
but but
That's okay.
I would like to be in the scene with William Dafoe because he did an excellent job with
Yeah,
his portrayal of the Green Goblin.
exactly. Actually, that kind of segues into the other question I was going to ask. And this, some people might think this is a silly question to ask, but I think it's worth thinking about. If there was any role, because the actors did a great job with what they had, they did a great job in
Mhm.
this movie. What if you could recast somebody else as a character in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? Who would you cast, and why would you cast that person? I think,
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
oh,
Go ahead. This isn't about me, this is
sorry
about
for
you. I'm trying to stop
interrupting.
myself from talking about it. I'm excited.
All right. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. Um, so I would do MJ
Mm-hmm.
because when I was younger, I was like, oh, it's a good character. I didn't really think about the film and stuff like that when I was younger because I was like, ooh, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
cool. No,
Yeah.
but now I've seen the movie be like throughout the years and recently, like just before the release of Spider-Man No Way Home, so I can be prepared.
Right.
Um, and a lot of people were saying that like she wasn't loyal and stuff like that, and I can definitely see that now
Mm.
because there's points that like she it seems like she the some parts of the trilogy it seems like it's all about her in her eyes.
Okay. So like
uh,
she's a little more too self-centered as I will say, as a supporting character.
yeah,
Hmm.
and also
Interesting.
I noticed that like if you think about it, in every movie she gets with someone when she's supposedly in a relationship with Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
For example, um, Spider-Man 2, when Harry was in a coma, um,
Mm.
Harry and her were messing around, and
Yeah.
another scene was that she temporarily um, got distant with Peter Parker, and then she automatically got married. well, she was literally about to get married, then she changed her mind and ran back to Spider-Man.
I see.
So so it's like she doesn't really know what she wants. It was very like her her character was kind of confusing to me.
Mm, I can see that. Yeah, that she. Yeah, I think I have a feeling that, and you can interject and tell me what you think as well. If I'm saying something that you'd like to, I don't know, you can disagree with me. It's completely fine with me. This is your
Mhm.
3x3, so you have the say at the end of the day. Um, I think her character probably was created in a way to cause drama for Spider-Man since he's the main character and
Mhm.
the character everyone follows. A lot of the times when writers will make other characters, they'll make them in support of the main character. So a lot of the things that, let's say, the love interest, like Mary Jane does, will have a direct effect on Spider Man or
Yeah.
Peter Parker to help his story. I'll say to have his story have more flavor, more color, sometimes to create drama for him so that there's more going on. Like he's not just um, trying to save New York City and save people from, Dr. Octopus and the Green Goblin. He's also trying to deal with his personal issues in relationships that cause
Mhm.
more drama for him. And maybe they made her dramatic. Maybe they made her complicated and kind of selfish to cause him drama. Um, that's just an observation I have. That doesn't mean that's the reality. That doesn't mean that's exactly what happened. But I mean, it would make sense to me that perhaps she was getting with all these different guys. It's almost like if Mary Jane gets a new boyfriend that isn't Spider Man or isn't Peter Parker. It almost is like he has Green Goblin and Doctor Octopus and all the other supervillains who are coming after him, and a new like boyfriend supervillain to follow. Like it reflects on the other side. Like not only is he dealing with Green Goblin, but he's dealing with Harry Osborn as
Mhm.
well as another
Yeah.
villain. No spoilers, but uh, but or like the guy she almost marries, and is it Doctor Octopus who's the villain in that one?
In Spider-Man 2,
Yeah,
which honestly, Doctor Octopus, the actor that played that character, he did a really, really, really good job.
yeah, they get some really good actors to play the villains. I noticed. Um, so
Except in the third one, which we'll get into that a little
okay,
bit.
all right, yeah, yeah, one step at a time.
Yep.
Um, Let me see. Were there other questions? Let's see. Do you know, I mean, other than the actors, do you know anything about like Sam Raimi as the director? Um, I can't really off the top of my head. When I think of Sam Raimi, I always think of these Spider-Man movies. There's not many other
Yep.
things I think of, but if
Mhm.
you know about Sam Raimi, let us know. Let us know what you know,
All
because
right.
you can educate us.
So it's not really about Sam Raimi, but it was
mm,
about his like impact on the movies.
yeah.
Um, so I know that Sam Raimi was the director of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I think he did an amazing job with the trilogy, except when it came to Spider-Man 3.
Mm.
But that was something that was by forced on him by higher ups of Sony because they
Oh.
wanted to pressure like, oh, we need to put Venom in. Spoilers.
Yeah.
we,
Well, if they haven't
we
seen
need,
this by now, it's been years. They should know. They should know. Watch
yeah,
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man already.
yeah. But yeah, they like forced so many they forced so many villains into the story, and It
Mm.
was basically the story was a mess because of that.
They were trying to cram too many characters in it.
Exactly.
I can see
Because
that.
because Venom was like a big IP at the time.
I see. Yeah, you're right. That makes total sense that that was a contributing factor to maybe why that movie didn't do so well,
Yeah.
which is
And
interesting.
I personally don't like the portrayal of that Venom at
Mm,
all.
yeah. Okay, cool. How about this? Can I kind of segue back to one more question and then we can, I'll kind of help us move on. Um,
Yep.
if you could recast someone, let's say Venom, you didn't like the way Venom was done, but if there was a Sam Raimi version of Venom that you liked, that was really good, who do you think would play that character? Or who would you
So
cast them as?
does it have to be an actor from that time?
No, no, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's your opinion, so it can defy logic.
I I personally think uh was it Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
He did an amazing job in the latest Venom series that came out in 2018. He
Mm-hmm.
did an amazing job on the Venom. Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
little fun fact,
Mm-hmm.
um in his portrayal of Venom, that voice that you hear, that's actually him. He's making the voice of Venom.
Okay, cool. So it like he's playing the double role.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Did you know if the well, I guess if you don't like it as much, then you may not. But did the other guy, I forgot his name, who played
Sandman.
oh, not Sandman. Oh, I forgot about Sandman. I completely forgot about the Sandman character. That honestly, that villain. Okay, well that's my opinion,
No,
not yours.
yeah.
So I can keep it to myself. I don't need to share if I
No,
don't want to.
no,
I thought,
you can talk. It's all right.
of course, personally, even though that movie was a little crazy, I thought the Sandman character was very interesting. It at least he at least had a very interesting setup. I thought.
Hmm.
I was more interested
I
in
totally
Sandman.
agree.
Yeah. Um, and that scene where he is like, it's all CGI at the time, but when he's in the, I guess it's the particle accelerator, I
That
guess.
was beautiful.
It was
That scene was
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, I completely loved that because wow, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. If for no other reason, people should watch Sam Raimi's Spider. Watch the first one because it has Willem Dafoe in it, and he's amazing.
He's a
As
legend.
he's a legend. The second one is also pretty good. Sorry, my phone is vibrating. Shut up. Um, and if for no other reason to watch the Sandman scene from, is it the third one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the third one's a bit of a hot mess, but that Sandman scene is oof, so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I really liked his um I loved his like background
Mm-hmm.
because of him like he was he had to do a little illegal job just to get money because his daughter was, I think, dying of cancer or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, or needed medicine,
Right.
and he didn't want to do it. He
Right.
didn't want to do it at all. But
Right. Yeah.
in that situation, he was like forced to. So, and he actually accidentally killed Uncle Ben.
Yep. Ooh, big
Um,
spoiler there.
yeah,
But you know what?
but
It's an old series. You should
he
watch it.
didn't pull the trigger. Um, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he did, but
You
like
don't think he pulled the
that,
trigger?
I don't remember if he did or if he accidentally did or like if Uncle Ben bumped into him and just went off.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wasn't Uncle Ben trying to help him?
yeah, and then the other guy came and ran into
Yeah,
him.
yeah, the guy that he originally chased down.
Yep.
Oh man, that's such a good. Honestly, out of a lot of the villains, that's a really good. Like, he's a sympathetic villain. He's
Yeah.
not. He's not good. He's not. But he's not completely bad. You know. He's
Yeah.
just
He
trying to
and he
survive.
yeah, he adds to the origins of Spider-Man too.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. No, that was a good start. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man series is so good.
Yep.
You mentioned you wanted to segue into the other Spider-Man, um, the Spider-Man. I mean the other
Yeah.
versions of Spider-Man because you have some other Marvel titles here on your 3x3. So
Yep.
why don't you tell us more about that?
Okay. So in I believe 2012 they rebooted the Spider-Man series because of terrible box office um, revenue
Mm-hmm.
in 2007 or 2008 with the Spider-Man 3 because of the whole
Mm,
um, too many villains thing.
right.
Um, so they rebooted it with the Amazing Spider-Man, and they added Andrew Garfield as
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. And a lot of people didn't like it.
Mm,
I personally like it was cool. It was a different take. It was a lot darker.
mm-hmm.
Um but I personally liked it. Um so the reason well, I don't want to tell the reason why yet.
Okay.
Um
Well, we're leading up to
but
it. Right.
yeah.
Um,
So
the second
but
title you have right here is, um, forgive me if I don't say it correctly, in No Way Home,
yeah.
Spider Man No Way Home, which is a
Yep.
very recent movie,
Yep.
um,
Um
but has
yeah,
our lovely Spider Man in it.
yep. And so before I get to that,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man series, which I personally thought it was really good. I like Gwen in the series.
That's true.
Um,
There was no Mary
I
Jane.
yeah, yeah. I did like when I was younger, I thought the outfit of spoiler, the Green Goblin,
Mm-hmm.
which was Harry Osborn in that universe. I thought it was cool, but now he looks like a hobo, a dirty hobo to me. Um, uh,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
but I I thought he was cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I didn't really know what to think of the Electro. Um,
Oh yeah.
I I think it was kind of stupid how they played him off as
Mm.
like super nerdy. Like it was basically stereotype of a nerd and a geek.
Mm. I mean,
And
yeah, that's a little. If you're trying to be accessible to people who might like, things that are considered nerdy, and I mean, I don't think it happens nowadays so much because comic books, especially because of these movies, these Spider-Man movies are very, very popular. Um, Not too long ago, comics were considered, and like Marvel was considered nerdy. Um, to me, it sounds a little bit like you're you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by making a stereotype of a nerd as a villain in this movie when probably a lot of people who grew up with Spider-Man who were called nerds at school for liking it probably feel stupid right now or feel bad because of what you just did. Again, it's probably not a really good. And he wasn't a very compelling villain, really, was he?
no, and I personally didn't like his outfit, which I know there's a lot of people that hated the Smurf outfit that he had, that he was basically
Right.
all electricity.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but I I like the story, but not too much, not as much as the original Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
series.
Right.
But I did like it. I ended up, like I said earlier, I ended up rewatching uh the the Sam Raimi and the Mark Webb versions, which is the Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and I rewatched them and the new MCU Spider-Man to catch up with Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was like heavy hints of them uh coming into the MCU, which I was
Mm.
like all for it.
Right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
um,
And there was a
so
maybe a yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
no,
you.
no, I'm sorry. I talk a lot.
No, that's what completely what this is all about. I want you to talk a lot. Um,
Okay.
though I was gonna add, there's a reason why you didn't add the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield to the 3x3, and it's because you have the beginning Spider-Man, and then you have No Way Home, which is kind of the mixture of all of them
Yeah.
together in kind of like this really satisfying crescendo of Spider-Man.
Yeah. And I didn't want my list to be too saturated of Spider-Man because
Mm,
there's other movies I want to talk about.
right. By the
Um,
way, yeah, a 3x3 is just the titles that if you had to pick um, which ones to put in because you like them the best. Um, that's what it is. It's not necessarily that you don't like the Amazing Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield because it's
yeah.
not on the list. It just if you had to pick 9 titles and it just didn't make the cut, it just didn't make the cut.
Yep. One more thing I wanted to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man series
Mm-hmm.
is that spoilers in Spider-Man, um, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Gwen Stacy dies,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like a huge scene that blew up that really like broke a lot of people's hearts and actually
Yeah.
broke Peter Parker's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And um so I know some I know some of the fans of the Amazing Spider-Man, didn't like the story of the actual character because the reason why is because Sony was pushing the director to do it a different way.
Mm.
So um same thing that happened with Sam Raimi, basically. Um but so
Yeah.
then the Amazing Spider-Man 3 didn't come out because the second one didn't do as well as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, so I believe that's all I want to say about this
Well, you know more.
Amazing
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
I didn't know that much about the like reasons behind why they made so many Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, another Spider-Man. People must really like Spider-Man, which is true, but
Mhm.
I didn't know all the different like marketing and production reasons why, which is always
Yeah.
interesting to learn. Um, I'm gonna segue us into the current MCU movies. You have
Okay.
Spider-Man: No Way Home and Marvel Endgame or Avengers Endgame. Those are the next two that are up there, and I agree that they kind of hit their stride now. But Marvel definitely started making good production decisions, good franchise decisions, and now we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, tell me about what you like about No Way Home.
All right. So just for just to make it like clear,
Mm-hmm.
so Sony and Marvel are separate.
Right.
So Sony has the rights, the film rights to Spider-Man.
Mm.
They had it for the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Then if they had trilogies that were like not profitable, then they would have to revert back to um, Marvel. But
Right.
Marvel made a deal with Sony that Sony can get like some sort of profits, and then Marvel can get a percentage of profit,
Mm-hmm.
and Sony can um, like provide funding, I believe, for the movies, and Marvel can actually use Spider-Man in the MCU.
Okay, yeah. I remember that was a bit of a controversy not too long ago about there wouldn't be any more
Oh,
Spider-Man
oh
movies
yeah.
until Sony. It was like a Sony thing, and you're right.
Oh,
The yeah,
yeah.
but
That
they came to
that.
a agreement.
Yep. Finally.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was extremely nervous because they they announced that whole like issue and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I believe right after Endgame, I think,
Yeah.
and
It wasn't too
they
long
just
ago.
yeah. Wait, no, it was after Far From Home, and they
Mm.
were freaking out like how are they gonna conclude the story? They're not if they're not able to use the character and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they um they ended up working with Sony to make a deal that he would actually complete his trilogy
Mm-hmm.
and get a few more spots on Marvel like
Mm-hmm.
properties and stuff.
Right.
Um, anyways, so that was a thing that was going on for months, and everyone was losing their mind. I
Yeah.
was losing my mind too.
Yeah. No, I know. It was a
um,
big deal.
yeah. Um, I what was I gonna say? Oh, so for No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they continued off where Far From Home actually uh left off. And this this movie is officially a multiverse movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, spoiler alert, this is
Uh,
huge.
yeah.
They bring the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield versions into the MCU.
Right. If, as if you couldn't
uh,
see the um, that there's a there. I mean, it's small, and people may not be able to see your 3x3 very clearly, but on the cover, they're pretty much on the cover. You've got Tom Holland, who's on this list a couple of times, um, and then Andrew Garfield, and then Tobey Maguire, um, which I think is really exciting.
oh yeah, there it was actually it it was kept a secret for the longest time, but then visual artist, I believe, leaked an image of
Oh,
Andrew
really?
Garfield and onto the internet, and people were losing their mind.
Oh my
And then
goodness! I can't
there were
believe it
some
was
people,
leaked.
yeah, there were some people saying it was Photoshop,
Uh,
and I was kind of like, maybe it's Photoshop and maybe it's not real. But when I saw the scenes, oh my God, I was screaming like a little kid. I was so freaking happy.
well,
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
it was a good surprise for everybody, and the Christmas present everyone wanted. Um,
Yep.
so it
And
yeah, go ahead.
oh, um, so you know how Sony and Marvel were having issues with contract and everything
Yes.
about completing the trilogy? They would have shoot themselves in the foot if they didn't completed the trilogy,
Mm,
because No Way Home, like they brought everyone back basically,
it's
and
true. It's true.
the the movie actually netted about, well, $1.9 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big old number.
Yeah, that is like huge.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
Oh,
probably a good they made good casting decisions there.
oh yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of people who would say, please put someone else as, you know, Dr. Octopus in these movies. We all agree that the actors were probably cast perfectly. And
Oh yeah.
we're happy to see them all there together. So,
Yeah,
um yeah, go ahead.
and uh and Electro wasn't blue this time. He was actually comic accurate.
Yeah, yeah, they went for more accuracy too. You're right.
Mm.
Um, what
Um.
what do you
Oh,
think? Let me ask you a quick question. What do you think
okay.
No Way Home brings to the table of entertainment value that maybe the other Spider-Man or other Marvel movies don't? Like um, what makes No Way Home stand out?
A hell of a lot of nostalgia. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
um. I would say like it showed more redemption for each character.
Mm.
For example, uh, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, which I
Mm-hmm.
doubt you haven't seen it. Anyways,
Right.
um, so you know how in Amazing Spider-Man 2 Gwen dies?
Mm-hmm.
So um, Tom Holland Spider-Man was in the same situation with his MJ, and
Mm.
MJ was falling off a building, and then Andrew came in when Tom Holland got snatched up by the Green Goblin
Mm-hmm.
mid-fall,
Right.
and he jumped down. He caught MJ. He
Mm-hmm.
was perfectly fine, and oh my gosh, the emotion in
Yeah.
his face, you could feel it in like pretty much everyone's hearts. Like
Right.
it was so, so good. It was like a great redemption.
Right. Right. That how it plays into not just the nostalgia, but it ties all these different loose ends together and all these character
Yeah.
arcs together, which is
Yep.
perfect, which is so good.
Yeah.
No wonder it netted
That just
1.9
oh,
billion.
that got me. That got
Mhm.
me when I saw I was like, yes. Oh man, I was losing my mind throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, so good.
Um,
Um
yeah.
I mean, we could talk about Spider-Man forever, I guess. But in order to kind of keep us moving along, let's jump towards Endgame. Um and I'll start with an icebreaker. Um if you had oh, no, not that one. Those are more like general questions. Um, if you could choose a scene from Endgame, Avengers Endgame, that you wish you could experience or jump into, which one do you think it would be?
Oh, the most iconic scene, and like one of the most iconic scenes in comic book history,
Mm.
when everyone comes through the portal.
Mm.
Oh my God, I would love to be there right now. Oh my God, I would be jumping, I'd be losing my mind, just like I was in the theaters.
Yeah,
And
honestly, so many people. I remember. I mean, I saw Endgame in theaters as well. It was a kind of a big deal, but uh, I remember it being almost like a viral sensation when that scene happened.
yep.
You're not supposed to do this, by the way. People would bring their phones and record inside the theater, which you're
Oh,
not supposed to do
yeah.
because you pay to see the movie and just experience it. But everybody, you're right, everybody started losing their minds as soon as who steps out first? Black Panther.
Yeah.
It was like a viral sensation. People sharing their clips of people just going crazy in the theater when that happened.
Oh
Which,
yeah, and when finally Captain America lifted up Mjolnir, oh my
mm-hmm,
goodness. That was crazy too because if you saw um if you saw the Age of Ultron movie,
mm-hmm,
and you see people trying to lift the hammer, if you look really closely when Captain America does it,
mm-hmm,
it wiggles a tiny bit.
right,
But but he didn't do it because he didn't want to like diminish Thor's confidence and stuff like that.
right, right.
Um but that's why Thor said I knew it when he saw it, and that was so iconic. Oh my god, that was so good.
Thanos didn't see that coming.
Nope. Nope, he didn't.
Ooh, how about this? Not for too long, but since we were talking about Spider-Man villains, let's talk about Thanos as a villain,
Hmm.
who kind of connects the MCU Avengers together. In
Yeah.
Endgame, we finally properly fight Thanos, like,
Hmm.
and defeat Thanos. When I say we, I mean the Avengers and the good
Yeah.
guys all together. Um, what do you think? What do you think of Thanos as a villain?
I thought he was a very interesting villain. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really think of him as much as a character. I just think he was cool.
Mm.
Um, but that's basically all I could say about Thanos. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
I know there are lots of people who love to talk about Thanos at length, and I just thought maybe if you had a lot of opinions about him, we could talk about it. But if you don't, that's completely cool too. I think it's a good thing that he was finally defeated,
Yeah.
especially after that gut punch of a movie known as Infinity War,
Oh my god. Yeah.
which made honestly, I if I were to interject my own opinion just on one thing,
Yep.
um, I think Infinity War was a great movie because it makes Endgame all the more satisfying.
Yep.
If I mean, Endgame would have been awesome either way, but it's just that much sweeter when you follow it from Infinity War because
Yeah.
it's like the ultimate. It got me excited. It got me excited for the ultimate setup to the ultimate battle.
Yeah, and like a lot of people were like waiting for it and stuff, and if we had to wait a whole entire year,
Mm-hmm.
and they filmed the movie back to back,
Right.
like both movies from back to back. So they literally had the entire movie done, but in their servers for over a year.
I mean, they were probably working on little things to make
Oh,
sure it was
yeah.
good, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Like I know that they did a lot of different movies. Series have done that. Lord of the Rings. I know that that's probably not something you're totally interested in, but there's a trilogy from the 2000s of Lord of the Rings, and they filmed those back to back to back. They just didn't stop filming, but they came out one a year, and they completely demolished the box office. They won multiple awards. They were like a really big deal at the time.
That that's actually so my friend Alex Safransky,
Mm-hmm.
he's a fellow What's Bad user, and
That's
he
true.
was also on Storyfire.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyways, he actually lives uh close to me, so we might be hanging out in the next couple months, and we may
Oh, that's
do a
cool.
Lord of the Rings marathon.
Oh, that'd be so fun. You would have so well. Hopefully, you'd have so much fun. People who like fantasy and like Lord of the Rings, they love a marathon. They love the Lord of the Rings marathon. You get really invested, and it feels like one long experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really
Um,
cool. Um,
yeah, so I'm excited about that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I know fantasy isn't for everyone. I know a lot of there's like two types of nerds. There's like the comic book nerd, the Well, I mean this in a nice way, not like a
Yeah, yeah.
derogatory way. Like the comic book superhero nerd, the science fiction type of
Hmm.
nerd, and then there's the fantasy nerd, which I think actually the fantasy nerd is probably nerd is a worse connotation than the superhero one. But they're both cool. They're both have theirs. I'm definitely a fantasy nerd. I've loved. I grew up on the Chronicles of Narnia. I grew up on Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Like all that stuff was like a big deal to me when I was young.
Yeah.
I loved Game of Thrones when it came out as when I was an adult. Um, so
And
yeah,
like if you
I love that kind of stuff. But I'm getting more into superheroes and sci-fi recently, and I think this is a good the Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Those were fantastic movies. I love those.
yeah, and like um I personally think of fantasy and comic book movies to be the same
Mm.
because they the characters literally come from idea.
Mm-hmm.
Either if it comes from fantasy comic book, like comic book movies, the comic books had to start with an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you go further back, it comes from an idea from a character
Right.
that someone fantasized or
Right.
made up.
Yeah. It's true.
So
I mean,
I
that's
think
how a
of
lot of things are made.
yeah, I think I think both of those are pretty much the same.
That's cool. Um,
Yep.
but to keep going with time, just because I don't want to keep us here all afternoon,
Yeah.
um, um, you also have DC referenced here on your three
Mhm.
by three. Moving down a little bit further, the Joker movie that came out 2019, I think.
I think it was 18 or
18.
19, somewhere around then.
Um, Also a fantastic movie. Also a very controversial movie, but very well done. I thought it was very well done.
Oh, me too. Like
Mm.
it. Oh my God, that's the movie that really intensified my love for mental health and psychology
Mm.
because they showed that the real um it was very real and very dark, which
Mm-hmm.
that's what mental health is. And mental health before that was always dramatized and
Mm.
was always like made as a little joke. But this
Mm.
time they actually took it very, very seriously.
Right.
And like if you look up the symptom, I mean um the illness from that movie,
Mm.
um if you look it up, it's actually a real illness that people have to deal with every single day.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's like he bursts into fits of laughter uncontrollably,
Yep.
and that
Um,
I mean it plays into the Joker persona that people understand from the Batman comics. That
yep.
he's just kind of a deranged, crazy lunatic, but he's also kind of a mastermind. He's just scary and unpredictable, which honestly, I think this movie leads into a lot of really good discussions about mental health. But I'll agree that I did actually enjoy this movie very much, and I was moved by the depictions of his struggles.
Mhm.
But I can also like see very very easily how he made bad decisions. I mean, it felt a little bit like the Sandman from Spider-Man, if I could call another villain out,
Mhm.
who was just put in a really really tough situation, but it went different ways. You know,
Yeah.
one superhero or super villain, I should say, is trying to take care of his ailing daughter, um, and doesn't have the means to take care of her properly, and then you have I forget his name, his real life name in the um, I forget I forget the Joker's name in Joker, but he
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh no, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix plays him. I just mean the character's name.
Oh, Arthur Fleck.
Arthur Fleck, that's right. He is in a similar situation trying to take care of his mom and, is trying to make ends meet. But he's also struggling really, really hard with just he needed help, and he wasn't able to get proper help, I think, which is a
Yeah.
very sad reality for a lot of people.
Yep. Um, yeah, the government in the actual movie stopped the program that he was using,
Mhm.
and there was no other substitute for it, so he was basically on his own.
Right. Right. Do you think that might have to do like with the fact that in a lot of these comics with not Spider-Man, Batman, that Arkham is a very dark, gritty setting. Like there are cities in the world that have corrupt, just about every government has its corruption and its trickle down economics they don't always benefit the people who are supposed to benefit from them. But do you think a fictional city like Arkham, not Arkham, what is it?
Gotham?
Gotham, um, as this really dark, gritty city where tons of crime happens, what it would be like to be struggling with some sort of health crisis like that and not get help?
So, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question
Oh,
on
I'm
that
sorry.
one.
The question was kind of convoluted. I just mean, like, if it's hard enough, say you lived in New York City
Hmm.
and you were trying to get benefits and they cut off the program that gave you basically help, mental health help,
Yeah.
the struggles you might go through after that in somewhere like New York City, how much harder it might be in a place like Gotham, which is
So,
Gotham's a really dark, um, it's a tough city.
yeah. Um, so you're just like trying to compare
Yeah,
um
yeah.
New
It's
York to Gotham, like which one's like worse, I would say, or
well,
how they're similar?
I, I guess I guess in a way I'm trying to compare real life to fiction a little bit, but I always thought that Gotham and Batman and all the villains that Batman has to deal with, um, they made Gotham. Whoever wrote, I can't remember the guy who wrote it, but the guy who wrote Batman made Gotham just a really dark, scary, gritty city to live in,
Yeah.
and almost like unbelievably dark.
Hmm.
What it might be like to go through some sort of mental health or health crisis in a city that just was that dark and that insane. Maybe that
Yeah.
played a role into how Joker ended up the way that he was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to say that, and I just like kept going and making it more complicated. I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. What
It's
I'm trying to say is Gotham sucks.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, that played into the role of it, and also uh, the trauma that he had for when he
Hmm.
was younger,
Right,
which that's a whole nother thing.
right.
Oh, and I'm sorry, like this is a little side note,
Hmm.
but I am making my own Spider-Man No Way Home type story called Spider-Man Final Home, and
Ooh.
and I'm gonna be actually making a Joker origin story, but based on
That's
the
exciting.
Gotham show's Joker, and
Oh,
come Cameron Monaghan.
okay. Yeah, because that's a TV show, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yes. Awesome. That's so exciting. Would that be on Wattpad?
yes. Um,
Awesome.
I I believe the Spider-Man Final Home's gonna be out by the end of this month on the 31st.
Okay,
It
awesome.
may it may get delayed to February 17th, which is the launch of a Marvel movie, Ant-Man Quantumanium.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, that's cool. You are definitely writing on Wattpad stuff that people are interested in. A lot of writers struggle to have their stories be popular, but
Mm-hmm.
one of the best ways to get your writing noticed right away is if you're covering popular topics at the time.
Yeah.
And Marvel and superheroes and um, Joker, like all that stuff is pretty popular a lot of the time. So you're doing a good job keeping up with the times and keeping people interested um,
And like
in your
for
writing.
me,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, I don't care like how many people read it. I don't care about the numbers. I'm
Mm.
just doing it for fun.
And
It's just yeah,
that's the
that's
best way to do
basically
it.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what keeps you coming back. The love for it.
I'm
Because
sorry.
sometimes I just said that's what keeps you coming back to writing is the love
Yep.
for it. That's
Yep.
what keeps you going.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about Uncharted and
Okay.
maybe your reasons why you added Uncharted to the list.
Okay. Um so Uncharted is a game franchise
Mm-hmm.
that started on the PS3 in uh 2007,
Mm-hmm.
and it got me hooked. I love that series,
Mm.
and they've been actually working on getting a movie out for several years.
Mm.
But then they finally landed the correct actors and directors and everything. Um, and they finally released the movie version of Uncharted with Mark Ruff, Mark Ruff, wait, not Ruffalo,
Wahlberg?
yeah, Wahlberg, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and Tom Holland, which
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, I think the movie's really good. I
Mm.
like the cinematography. I like the portrayals of the um, characters.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I overall think it was a really good movie.
Okay, cool. Is there a particular scene that really stands out to you as your favorite scene, or maybe a part in the movie where the games kind of like you can see references to the games that you enjoy so much?
Well, there's two that it's really cool. So, Nolan North was the voice of Nathan Drake in the video games,
Mm.
and he actually cameos in the movie.
Oh. Oh, that's cool.
So I thought that was really, really cool. I really like that.
Which character
And
was he?
um, he was just a random person on the beach.
He
And
was a
then,
oh, when they washed up on the beach?
yeah,
Oh, I see. Oh, he was that
and,
guy.
yeah, and,
Oh, right.
yeah, and then
I
like
watched
they,
Uncharted last week to
yeah,
kind of prepare for today. So at first I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that there was a cameo. Which character was it?" And
yeah,
yeah.
that was the guy. He was a voice actor for it, and he saw. Well, he was talking to Tom Holland, which is Nathan Drake in the movie, um,
Mhm.
saying like, um, he fell he fell from a plane on into the water, and
Mhm.
then he's like, something similar happened to me. Um,
That's funny. Yeah.
which is a callback to Uncharted 3, which he actually falls out of a cargo plane.
There you go. There you go. Um that's funny. So is that are those the references um yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about Uncharted since I'm not as big a video game buff as maybe others are. But overall, it's a fun action movie. It's got some really big names. tied to it, recognizable faces, cool action shots. Um, I mean, I again, you know way more than I do at this point. Uh, but yeah, why did you pick Uncharted as a title to put here? Maybe in lieu of others that might have made the list.
Just my love for the game series and how they did a good job for the actual movie.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that's basically it.
okay, that's cool. That's good. Now we're moving on to not so many sci-fi or action movies. You have a romance on here, 50 First Dates, which I
Yeah.
think is actually kind of I think it's kind of a funny movie, kind of interesting. Um,
Oh, it is. I love it.
yeah.
It's
Um,
one of those movies that I could watch over and over and over and over again, and
yeah.
I could never get tired of it.
Oh, that's good. There's not many movies out there that I can think of that I would watch over and over again like that. I would eventually get tired of something, so that's saying a lot that you
Yeah.
could watch a movie you love so much over and over. If Let me see. I have some more icebreaker questions. Um, if you how about this? If you could recast anybody in 50 First Dates, who would you like to see try the role? I know it's an Adam Sandler movie, so that kind of makes it hard because it's an Adam Sandler movie. He kind of makes the whole thing. But
No one.
no one?
No one. I think the movie was perfect.
Okay, cool. Awesome. For those of you who may not know, I'm not going to spoil it, by the way. 50 First Dates, it's a little bit of an older movie. It's about a man who falls in love with this lady, and he slowly gets to know her over time. But she is reliving the same day over and over again because she has memory loss. Um, so every day she forgets who he is, right? And
Yeah.
what I thought was interesting about it was it made his character develop because he has the opportunity to be a better person and start over every day. It's like I messed up the relationship, but tomorrow I can I can do a better job and I can be a better person and she'll accept me basically. um,
Yep.
and kind of helping her navigate her own struggles. She's kind of just living her life, but again, she's stuck in the same spot, and there may not be a future with her because the future will look the same every single day. You know, so it's kind of an interesting character study on how maybe people might navigate that situation. And the only spoiler I'll say is that no, she is not cured in the end. She doesn't. There's no cure. She's going to completely live the same day, or start over with the same mindset every day, and forget who he is for the for the future, and that doesn't get fixed. But it's how he kind of approaches it and changes and shows his love to her and his appreciation for her every day, so that at least by the time she goes to bed at the end of the day she is happy, you know
Um,
which
I
I thought was sweet.
actually. Oh,
Go ahead,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. I talked enough.
Yeah. Um, so I loved the movie because it was like super funny and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
used to watch it so many times when I was younger, but when I
Mhm.
got older and realized that there was more stuff going on mentally wise,
Mm.
I was like, oh, that drew me in even more. So that's
Right.
definitely one of the big reasons why it's still on the list of my 3 by 3 because it also touches on mental health too.
Mhm. Right. Especially people who might suffer from maybe dementia or amnesia or similar memory problems.
Trauma. Yeah.
Yeah, and trauma. Yeah, trauma is huge.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so yeah, it's good. It's got the comedy that keeps you entertained, but it also has the heart and the kind of bigger questions that you grow up and you ask sometimes, and you go, "Oh yeah, that's right." And what it might take to be in a relationship with someone who struggles with their mental health in some way, and how to be kind and gentle and take care of yourself at the same time, you know.
Yep.
It's a good movie. It's got a lot of good stuff. Um Next on the list is Napoleon Dynamite, which is a classic. I love Napoleon Dynamite. Tell me about why you picked Napoleon Dynamite for your 3x3.
My stepdad actually got me into that movie,
Oh
and
really?
yeah, oh my God, the movie is so funny.
It's so funny.
There- I actually reference that movie um quite a bit. Even my stepdad does with the oh my gosh, and the La Fonda
Oh yeah.
and
La Fonda
with
and the brother.
yeah, the I Love Technology song. Oh my God, that's a banger. Uh,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so
I'm
many.
definitely gonna be playing that at my wedding.
Oh my gosh.
uh,
That'd be so funny.
so, um,
Oh.
I'm gonna be. Um, I like the. I just. I. I don't know. I really like the comedy of the movie.
Mhm.
I like the um the part that like make your own quesadilla.
Right. There's just so
Um,
many good quotable moments.
yep. Oh, and almost everything. Every time we have dinner,
Mhm.
you should remember this from the movie. It's iconic. When
Uh,
he feeds um what's it?
Tina.
Tina?
Yeah.
Tina, yeah. It's like eat your dinner, Tina. I always do that for like plates, like eat your dinner. Every single time without fail. Oh my
You ever
goodness.
like something I know about Yozora is he has some cute dogs at his place. You ever feed your dogs like that? And be like, Tina,
No,
eat your dinner.
no, no, but
No. Oh, you only talk to
my
your family
mom and
members like that?
my mom and my stepdad uh feed the
Yeah.
dogs, but I do
Oh,
it to my family
that's funny.
members.
That's funny.
Um,
I never
oh my
actually did that. What did I quote? Yeah, it was always like, so, what are you gonna do today? Whatever I feel like. God.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Whenever I feel like gosh. Or like
Yeah.
when I ask my stepdad, like um when are you gonna take a shower or something? Because we get up around the same time so I can get ready for work, and he does. It's like wherever I feel like it. Gosh.
Honestly, out of any cringy thing that a dad might be able to quote at their kids, that's a good one though. That's
Oh my
funny.
god. Oh my god. I love that movie. It's so funny.
It is.
Oh, I love the dance too
I
at
was just gonna
like
say the dance
the
scene.
talent show.
Oh, okay, can I just say something? Because
Yeah.
it's about a student body voting for their class president.
Yeah.
And the best campaign they had for kind of like this quiet, introverted kid named Pedro was to just do a dance at the rally or whatever it is. I can't remember. Um, how many more people do you think would, if they did like, all right, here's your candidate, and like people come out with a vote for Pedro style shirt, but they just like start dancing to that song,
Oh,
but
I
like
I'm
real
ooh.
life people running for president.
There's people that have done that. There's like
Really?
a lot of people that
Oh
have
my
done
gosh,
that.
seriously? I've never seen it. I
Yeah.
gotta look it up now. I gotta find people who've done that.
Oh my god. It's on YouTube. I've seen
Oh
it
my
before.
gosh, seriously? I can't believe I've never
Um,
seen that. Oh
Oh
my
my god,
gosh.
it's so funny. And if I ever like run for anything, I'm so gonna do that.
Oh my
So
gosh.
gonna do that.
Well, you'd have my vote for sure.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
I I just thought about something. I should have done that for when I was a mod for Storyfire back in the day.
You would have gotten instant video access. It would have been
Oh yeah, for
simultaneous. And if you didn't, then everybody on Storyfire is dumb. Cuz seriously,
yeah.
how do
Oh
you not vote yes for that?
oh my
Oh my
god,
gosh,
that
that would
would
have
have
been
been
so funny.
perfect.
It's like my one
Yeah.
regret. My one regret was not putting out a video of me dancing that vote for Yozora.
Oh my god.
Well,
I'd be
well, if anyone from Storyfire who's still there is listening to this podcast later on, now you know how to run for mod. Free advice, free political campaign advice from us and
Yeah, and if
Napoleon
you do
Dynamite.
it, please send it to us.
Yes, yeah, link the video to us. We'd love to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Cool. The next two movies are holiday films, which we just passed the holidays. It's January
mhm.
right now. But it was fresh in our minds, and who doesn't love a good rewatchable Christmas classic? Elf being the next one. Elf also is kind of one of those quotable movies, isn't it?
Yep. I actually so there's a quote that from the whale when he is going to find his dad. It's like, "Bye. Hope you find your dad." Uh,
Yeah.
so me and my dad and my mom and everyone quotes that like every single time they're leaving to go somewhere. And
Mm-hmm.
this Christmas, they actually they made a shirt that says, "Bye, hope you find your dad," and I got it for Christmas,
Oh,
and I
really?
wore it on Christmas Day. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Maybe. Okay. He sends pictures from time to time in the
Oh,
Discord chat, and I didn't notice that in some of the pictures.
oh,
You sent it on Christmas. You said Merry Christmas, and I guess I didn't see it, but
maybe I didn't.
oh, maybe there's
Maybe
not in there.
I didn't put it on there. I don't know.
Possibly. But that's so cool that they made a shirt for you that says "Hope you find your dad."
Yeah,
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
actually,
Yeah.
actually, if you aren't gonna put this on the podcast, I can show you right now.
Okay, I won't put it on the podcast. You go ahead. Do what you want. For those of you who know me from Twitch, you know that I'm trying to grow my Twitch presence a little bit, and I have a soundboard I'm building up. That might be a fun sound to add to the board.
Yeah, yeah, you should. You should. Oh,
When
and you could
people
draw.
have to go, yeah, when people have to leave, I'll be like, okay, bye. Hope you find your dad.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I need to find the shirt now.
there's so many other scenes. I don't know why. I always thought it was hilarious when Buddy the elf gets sent to the mailroom, and he makes friends with all the mailroom workers,
Yeah,
and
and
they
then he
like
was
get drunk,
dancing.
spiked coffee. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, there's also another quote that we do a lot. Whenever my dad or my mom or me or anyone burps, they're like, we burp and then we're like, did you hear that?
Oh yeah,
Do you remember that from he was
yeah.
drinking the entire
And
bottle of
the
Coca-Cola?
little brothers just like staring at him like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Uh,
I like
but
the
yeah, there's so many good
the four
there's
main
so
food
many good
groups.
moments
That's
in
another
that
one.
movie.
We always
Huh?
would say, you got the four main food groups: candy, candy canes, candy corns, and syrup.
Yeah, there's another one that um oh, whenever we talk about Christmas, my stepdad like Christmas and like he
Oh
jumps
yeah.
around and stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
It's like the elf movie.
Yeah. Oh, the department store worker who's like, singing isn't your favorite. Work's your new favorite.
Yeah.
or or the guy they get to play Santa, and he's like, "You stink. You're not Santa." And he's like, "Hey, kid. Hey, I got a kid on my lap. I'm trying not to blow my cover right now."
Oh,
Oh, it's so
yeah,
good.
I love that movie.
It is good. I'll admit that is a class. That's a more modern classic.
Yeah.
But a little slightly older movie is your last one on the grid. The Christmas Vacation. Um, I always butcher the title. Family Lampoon. I don't remember. How do you say it?
Cancun or
National.
Campon, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, the one with Chevy Chase, and he has a chaotic Christmas with his family.
Yeah, there's so many funny moments in that movie too.
Yeah,
I actually have a little story on that.
sure, go
So,
ahead.
so my family and I used to watch it when I
Mm-hmm.
was younger, and I didn't understand any of the jokes.
Mm.
But when I was 13, I finally understood the sexual jokes in it, and
Yeah,
I was done. I love that movie.
yeah. When the movie gets a second wind, and you're like, oh, now I understand everything, and it's
Yeah.
got another layer to it. That's always funny. I always appreciated writers that were able to do that. To, I guess sometimes it's a little heavy handed, but sometimes writers are really good at putting in the jokes that go over little kids' heads,
Yep.
just so that it has like a rewatchable. You can grow up and watch it and still appreciate, like,
Oh yeah.
still laugh at it. You know.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
One time, I actually have a story about my dad. Um, he always made a big deal. My dad was the type of guy who quick story about us growing up. We were, no swearing in the house, obviously. Like, you say, you slip up, you say a bad word, you're getting soap in your mouth type of thing. You can consider that child abuse if you want, but it's a reality for a lot of us growing up.
No, it's discipline.
It's discipline. But my dad was the type of person who, he swore when he went to work. He swore, when we weren't around. But if there was
Yeah.
like a time he like accidentally dropped something, or like he was cooking and like burnt his finger or something, he'd like do like the like mumbling type of swears. Like he'd stop himself.
It's like mother.
Like he like son of a, he'd
Yeah.
like muffle himself because he knew we were around, and he
Yeah.
didn't want to make it seem okay to swear. But his favorite part was when he just, in National Lamp or whatever it is, the Christmas Vacation, when he just loses his mind, when Chevy Chase just loses his mind and starts like going off. And we made a joke one year after we grew up of like, hey dad, we're gonna get you a t-shirt someday that just says all of that stuff, all the like hallelujah, holy bleep, like all that stuff,
Yeah.
like, and just get a shirt for him that said all that. Like, I've seen so many things around Christmas time that's like a t-shirt, even like a dish towel. Like, people get creative and like write out whole quotes from movies on like dish towels and like
Yeah.
even socks, a pair of socks one time. I was like, that's incredible. And we were making jokes
Yeah.
one year about like, hey dad, I'm gonna get this for Christmas for you.
I
And he was like, oh yeah, don't do that.
I think I remember the first joke that I understood when I was 13,
Mm.
when when he said that like uh I can put this log up your
Mm-hmm.
ass or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, that's rude. And he's like, I wasn't talking to you. And then she looks at him like, oh my god. It's
Yeah.
a adult sexual joke, but
Right,
I
right.
understood that when I was 13 and I cracked up.
Yeah. I always thought it was kind of funny. It's another one of those movies that had a child actor in it who grew up to be in um the guy from The Big Bang Theory. Was in it as a kid. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh,
Um,
he was?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I forget his name, but he plays one of the main guys um, in The Big Bang Theory. That's a TV show. Um, but he played the son in Christmas Vacation. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to look up right now.
Yeah, I forget
I
his
didn't know
name. I
that.
forget his name. Maybe I can pull him up really fast. Here, let's see. Let's do, what is it? I think it's National Lampoon.
No, no, Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard. That's his name.
L-
Yeah.
Leonard.
Wait, hold on. This guy, right? Yeah, he plays Russell. John Galecki?
Yeah, that's Leonard. What?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Oh my God, that's mind blowing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. Like he started out, that might have been his first movie ever.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
He
That
was in
just
a lot of
blows my
stuff.
mind.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I got to share something with you today. That's cool.
Whoa, that's really cool.
It is. I'm kind of glad I
Wow.
have a visual aid up. So yeah, that is the final 3x3. We made it through all of them.
Oh, dang, that was quick.
Yeah, well, a little over an hour, but
Oh,
we can trim down anything, that might go on too long. Um,
oh, sorry, but speaking of Christmas Vacation,
yeah,
have you seen the movie? Just it's called Vacation.
just vacation?
Yeah,
No, I haven't.
it's actually a sequel to Christmas Vacation, and
Oh. Oh wait, maybe. I've heard that there were was the guy also in it? The Big Bang Leonard? Was Leonard in it?
no, no,
No. Okay. Well,
but um, it's called Vacation. It came out in 2015. It's a comedy adventure movie, but it's on HBO Max. But so that guy that's on that road trip and stuff,
mhm.
he's
Oh.
actually the son of the guy that was in um uh Christmas Vacation.
Oh, interesting. National Lampoon Vacation film series. Oh. Yeah, I knew there was more than one movie. There's Lampoon's Vacation, European Vacation, Christmas Vacation, Vegas. Oh yeah, it's just called Vacation. Oh,
Yep.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I haven't watched the other vacation ones, just this vacation, the
Mhm.
Christmas Vacation, and then the one that I just told you about.
Right. I mean,
But I actually
yeah.
didn't realize that till later when I watched the movie. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. Oh wow. Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That,
the Christmas one really stands out as the best one though, isn't it?
oh,
It's more classic than the others.
yep.
I hardly ever hear about the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome. I loved that movie.
Yeah, it's really good. Well,
Yep.
um I think unless I can maybe ask one more question, and this is just kind of a general question, not about a
Okay.
specific movie.
Okay.
How about this? Personally, for you, how, out of all of these movies on the list, which one do you recommend the highest to someone who's maybe never seen any of these movies before? If you had to pick one to recommend for someone to
The,
watch, which
the
one?
Joker.
The Joker.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Because I I don't care who you are, you could relate to the movie in
Mm.
some way.
In some way,
I can
it's relatable
guarantee you.
enough,
Yeah.
and
And
it
it's
is.
based on
Yeah.
real life too.
It's drawing from real life illnesses, real life experiences of
Hmm.
people who might struggle with a disease that's not as common as other ones.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And it's a very beautifully, I mean, it's gritty, obviously, but it's shot very well. Joaquin Phoenix does an amazing job, you know, as
Yeah.
Arthur. Um, and it's an interesting I think it's an interesting jumping off point for a possible new DC series if they
Yeah,
were to
actually,
continue that character.
they are.
They are.
They're making a Joker 2,
Oh,
and
really?
they're gonna make this one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna see. I'm probably gonna wait till HBO Max,
Mm.
but they're having Lady Gaga as
Ooh.
Harley Quinn,
Ooh,
and
interesting. That could
and this movie is gonna be a musical.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's going to be really interesting. I
yeah,
wonder. I wonder. I wonder how that's going to go. I hope it's
yeah.
good
I'm wondering that too.
because this was
Uh,
such a good movie. Joker was, for all its controversy, it was definitely a good movie. It was a well done movie. Um, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of sequel could follow it up. And if they choose to go the musical route, that's kind of. Is that because of the Lady Gaga casting, maybe?
I'm guessing so.
I mean, she's been in movies where she doesn't sing. She did one
Yeah,
recently where she was just acting. I
I
wonder. I
think
wonder what the reason is behind the musical
I
reasoning.
think I might know why.
Hmm.
Because of the whole like, remember in the first one, um, spoilers for anyone that hadn't seen Joker.
Mm.
Um, so he actually not hallucinates, but
Mm.
he how should I say it?
He doesn't quite. Um, yeah, I would say that hallucinations are a part of it. Sometimes you're not sure, because it's from Arthur's point of view. You're not sure if what you're seeing is actually happening.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think that the musical part would be playing into the hallucination type.
Ah, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, that would be interesting to me.
Yeah.
But if it's just a random like conversation and they start with the musical, I'm like,
It's
nah.
true. It's true. If it was like most musicals, I mean, I will say this: musicals are a form of entertainment. It's
Yeah,
not for everybody. I think it helps if you enjoy musical theater, or you were maybe a singer or a dancer or someone who got to participate in musical theater. Sometimes that helps musicals be more palatable. You
yeah,
can appreciate them more, but it's not for everybody. So sometimes when I hear people are going to make a musical sequel to something, I'm like, is that a good idea? Because
yeah,
your original audience may not be expecting that and they may not find that as palatable.
yeah. It's just like something that's so out of left field for
Yeah.
um, the
But it makes,
original movie that was so dark and
yes,
so gritty and everything. And then next thing you know, oh, we're making the sequel to a musical.
right. I mean, you can make a dark and gritty musical, it's not impossible. Les Mis or any opera is a great example of a dramatic musical. But yeah, um, it makes sense if it was a part of like the hallucinations part of it.
Yeah. I just hope that they ease into it
Mm-hmm.
and not just do it randomly. That's what
Right.
I'm worried about.
Right. Well, cool. I didn't know that was gonna happen. That's so cool. So yeah,
Yep.
um, obviously, if you haven't seen any of these movies, you can give them a try. Just know that they're different genres. There's plenty of comedy in here. There's plenty of action. But there is also drama and there is also some darker elements to it. Just go in with a what's the right word?
Open mind.
An open mind. Yeah. And yeah, thanks so much, Yozora. What'd you think? What'd you think of the first podcast?
I think it went really good.
Yeah, yeah, you did a great job, by the way.
Thank
So
you. You
yeah,
too.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, the plan is to do a different 3x3 every month. Unfortunately, I can't do more than one a month because I'm pretty busy these days. But you can find Yozora on Wattpad. I'll make sure he's linked in the description of this podcast. And you can read his upcoming titles coming to Wattpad and his previous titles. He does a lot of really cool kind of like, I would consider them like situations from comics, but like with a different spin on them. Um, he does a great job with Marvel characters, Marvel storylines. Sometimes, I mean, you do reviews as well. Um,
Yeah, I I kind of stopped with the reviews and the mental health
right.
interviews when it came to Storyfire, which that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole other
Um,
story. Right.
yeah.
Right. But yes, he's got great content out on Wattpad. You can also find him on Twitch. He doesn't stream as much, but hopefully, fingers crossed in the future. If you come by one of my streams, if you catch me live, most likely Zora will be in the chat. Be kind, be nice, be open minded, and yeah, I'm looking forward to more fun stuff. You can find Brain Velcro at the link kind of in the corner on Substack, my Substack account. You can listen to this. Maybe the video will be available. We'll find out what's possible. um, and yeah, I'm going to sign off for now and see you guys next month. Bye, guys.